welcome to the Wayfaring Panda. I'm Annette. Today I'm continuing my 2021 Christmas series by showing you how I'm making wrapping paper. So this is very eco-friendly, and I'm just using paper that I got in my Chewy box, or a couple Chewy boxes, for my dog. It has this Kraft paper, and I just ironed it with an iron to get out some of the creases. It's still kind of crinkly, but that's okay. Kind of adds to the rustic charm. And then I'm just using different stamps that I have on hand and different ink. So on this first set of wrapping paper, I am using Hello Bluebird stamps. And these stamps are still available. They're Rooftop Reindeer. And I'm using some ink that I have, some Distress Oxide and Distress ink. So when I use stamps to do my wrapping paper or backgrounds for cards, I start with my bigger stamps first. So I'm starting with my reindeer. I'm doing two of the reindeer with Festive Berries Distress Oxide, and I'm using two of the reindeer stamps with my Candied Apple Distress ink. And the only reason I'm using Distress Oxide and Distress ink is because I only had Candied Apple and the Distress ink, and I just wanted to use pink and red and kind of a turquoise color because I think these stamps look kind of retro with the reindeer. And so I thought retro colors would be great with this. I'm speeding this up quite a bit because you don't want to watch me stamp at normal speed. That would take forever. And also, I'm mainly just giving you general tips on this. So one thing I do advise is that you turn your stamp different ways, unless you're going to be meticulously doing one certain pattern, which will be hard to do. And you want this to be fun. And if you move your stamp around in different directions, then your paper won't be one directional and it won't matter how you wrap your present. So then I end up using my smallest images last to fill in any empty areas. So I'm using 4 different snowflakes. I'm doing 2 of the snowflakes with the Salvaged Patina, and I'm doing 2 of the snowflakes with some white ink, which is Color Box, white pigment ink, and I'm just using that because I think that the white really shows up well on the Kraft paper. You can use whatever ink that you have and whatever stamps you have. I was even thinking about using some dog stamps and just using Christmas colors to make it look like Christmas. And also you can get packaging. You can even get some white butcher paper. And if you don't have any packaging that you've saved, you can also buy Kraft paper in rolls as well as butcher paper. And this would be a great project to do with your young children. Normally, if you're just trying to stamp to get a really crisp image, you would use other types of ink and not really Distress ink. But I wanted some retro colors, and I didn't have any dye inks and these types of colors, so that's why I used the Distress ink. I do have a lot of Stampin' Up, but that's from like 20 years ago. So as I want new colors, I really would like to start building up a particular brand. So if you have any suggestions of what dye inks are best for doing this type of stamping, or if I ever get any multi-layered stamps, what inks do you suggest for that? Now this one I'm showing how you can just use some old stamps. This is a stamp set I had from Stampin' Up that's really old, and it's more of a traditional look. So I am using 2 of my Stampin' Up pads for this, and this, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, it depends how big a screen you're looking at this. These are kind of wreathed with cardinals in it, and then I'm also using, it has a birdhouse, and then there's like a swag of pine cones, and then a cardinal. So I do 2 of the images in a red, and it's called Rose Red. I don't know if they make that anymore, because Stampin' Up, this was like 20 years ago when I bought these. And then I also have Forest Foliage. So these are traditional Christmas colors, as well as traditional images. So you can really get different looks just depending on what colors you use and what stamp sets. And you can see you could do this with either photopolymer stamps or rubber stamps. So use whatever you have. On this one, I'm doing the same thing where I start with my larger images and move to the smaller one. So on this one, I had a small cardinal, and I'm just using that one as my filler stamp. For the next one, I'm getting another traditional look, but a completely different look by using a dark blue, which is Stampin' Up Night of Navy and a silver stamp pad. So the first two images I'm doing is the actual nativity with Joseph, Mary, and the Christ child, and then I'm using the animal stamp. And those I'm doing in blue, and I'm doing an angel and a star in silver. So it gives you a little bit more fancier look. Now you can use whatever you have on hand, so whatever stamps, these are solid image stamps. So whatever you have, you could even try using a stencil and ink blending, although I think that would take more time than stamping. But just find whatever you have and have fun with it. You'll notice I don't always get a perfect stamp, but that's part of being homemade. I know some people always stress about their card not being quite perfect. First of all, this is wrapping paper. My dog's going to tear it up anyway, and we have real people in my house. When we get together with our relatives, we always joke about Martha Stewart and, hey, Martha Stewart won't approve. Who cares? She's not coming to my house. Just have fun and enjoy it. It's the love that counts and the time you spend with family and friends. For this next part, I'm using something really old. These are called stamping wheels from Stampin' Up. I think they're a lot of fun, and it's been a long time since I used them, so hey, wrapping paper is a great way to practice. So first of all, I'm trying to use a ruler to try to get it straight. Yeah, I'm the person who cannot draw a straight line. Well, maybe if I have a ruler. But I cannot stamp in a straight line, so I'm trying to use that with my stamping wheel, I think they're called, so it's kind of a roll, and then it has ink that goes against it so you can go across. So it was getting hung up on the yardstick, so now I'm using my quilter's ruler to see if that helps. It might help you. I'm kind of deficient on straight line rolling, so maybe it'll help you. I'm not sure it did me. I think these are really fun, although they were made a long time ago, but you could probably find them on eBay, and a lot of people are finding old stuff on different online things or at yard sales or thrift shops, so you might be able to find some of these. And I actually probably have extra some of these, so if anyone would be interested in maybe a giveaway, I could see which colors. I do believe I have an extra green one. See if I have an extra wheel and maybe a stamping wheel to go with it, as well as ink. If anyone would be interested in a drawing, I'll do some more of these videos. In fact, I'm planning on doing one on making your own Christmas bows, as well as Christmas tags. So here you can see I have a stash of these inks. So you put the ink cartridge inside and you just kind of push it down, and then you remove the lid. I tried to first taking the lid off first, but then you get ink on your hand, so leave the lid on until you get it into the cartridge, and then you take the lid off, and then you put the roll in, and it just snaps in, and then you push the ink against the wheel. And then before you start stamping, you want to roll it on some scrap paper to load up the ink. And then you roll it over your paper. So here I'm using a green one, green ink, and this has Stockings. And they made a whole bunch of different ones. And I think I also have a gingerbread one, as well birthday ones. We have about a whole drawer full of these things. So if you are interested in me doing a giveaway, I could do that. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate if you can subscribe. And also, if you like the video, please give it a like. I hope this inspires you to get crafting for Christmas. And for more inspiration, I'll have a link to all my 2021 series at the end of the video. Thank you.